Last week we were dealing with the planets, and last week we dealt with the moon, Mercury, Venus, and the sun. And the moon, the planets are the functions, they're the living beings, the identities that we're trying to tune into. And you're always finding new things about planets. You're always, it's like you meet a person, you're always, hopefully, you're finding new things about them, you're discovering new things. You're always learning from the interreactions, and it's a growing work in progress. So, we're always growing with the planets. We're always um, just developing our relationship to them. And the better we develop our relationship to them, the more we understand how they work for ourselves, the more we begin to see them for other people. So last week we went through the moon with our family or home. Really, the moon's your memories. Basically, it's your sympathy links, your basic needs, and everything before your basic habits. Everything before this moment is just a memory, and it's how we reflect on things. And it goes back to how we reflect on how close we were to our mother, whether we were wanted or not wanted, feel close, not feel close. All of these things create a very great matrix of sympathies or of feelings. So the moon being our feelings and our memories and our moods, that's first level. Then you have the Mercury, which is your thinking. Mercury is your ability to communicate, to coordinate your nerves, to coordinate your ideas, to make perceptions out of things, to make sense out of the memories, and to recognize patterns, and basically to make up time and figure out what you're going to do, what makes sense to you. So I call it the principle of being alert to whatever sensations come into you. Now Venus, we know as the planet of love and hate, of beauty and ugliness. It's always two sides. So it's sweet, it's bitter, it's lustful, it's charming and romantic. So like you have all of these factors of romance. Really, it's magnetism would be the word I use for Venus, which is what you're attracted to and repulsed from. I love you, I hate you. I like this, I can't stand that. These things. Tastes are another factor of Venus. You taste what you like, what you don't like. So that's what you like, what you don't like is Venus. So in a way, it represents your choices in life. But even with the magnetism, one of the simple factors, like when you have love and hate, when we think it down to a function, it's Venus is your ability to be satisfied. What turns you on? What's going to satisfy you? What's going to allow you to be content or to even climax, to be appreciated. Just I really like this. How it's how you receive appreciation and love and your attitude to this. So Mars is how you dish it out and what you want to do to satisfy someone else, but Venus is how you're satisfied and what you want or what you're looking for. So how content are you? And the moon is your feelings and moods, but Venus is your emotions, this attraction and repulsion, this magnetism. But a key way of thinking of Venus is just choices you make. We make thousands of choices every day. What we're going to wear, how we're going to comb our hair, what we're going to look like, what we're going to do, what we want to do, what we like, what we don't like. We make thousands of Venus choices every day. It's a very functional planet. And as we want, like things that don't like things, it affects the way we think and then how we feel. So these inner planets are inner things that we're around. Sometimes we get long-term complexes that take longer time to figure out and to work on, and they start affecting. If our inner moods aren't right, we're not thinking right, we're not wanting good things, and we want bad things, boy, that's going to affect all our outer behavior and all our social situations. So while Venus is attraction, repulsion is what you want, it also can be lust. It can be too much of a good thing and overindulgence. It can be, well, it's the classic planet for alcoholics and addictions. I want this, I gotta have it, I can't do without it, I gotta get it. So they can have that side of dangerous indulgence. That's kind of the dark side of Venus. Because we're really just wanting to be appreciated. But if we can't have love, then we'll have a drink, or then we'll have chocolate, or then we'll have sweets, or then we'll buy something. I mean, marketing works on Venus. But anyways, I hadn't mentioned the issue of choices and the need to be satisfied. So last week, so I thought I should make sure that I added it in. When you got to the sun, you got your purpose in life and your confidence. Boy, if you're confident, it's easy to go into the future and to make something happen. If you're not confident, it just becomes really difficult to go forward. So this sense of going somewhere, of being someone, of being okay, of being able to play or being creative or being able to, I think, just move into the future with confidence. This point of confidence, it's a nice word for using the sun. Because you can see when someone's confident or when they lack it, when they're in between, when it's so-so. You can see the different ways that confidence manifests, and that can start, then you can see the hints of the sign that's in the houses, and you begin to see how the sun represents that. Okay, so today we've got the outer planets, so Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, not the far outer ones. We're going to work with Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They work just as the Moon, Mercury, and Venus kind of work as an inner team of an inner quality. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn work as an outer team of how we function and what we do and how we understand what we're doing in our life. So there's not a lot of books that really integrate these things. But anything on the planets, any book on the planets, but it's right on, read it. Anybody's saying something about planets, go find it, because the more you stretch the planets, the more your horoscope, your understanding of astrology works. Once you understand the planets, you can begin to see better how a sign affects it, how it puts its energy into the houses, and how stress patterns affect it. But the main function is, regardless of the aspects, you still have to be your planet and express the signs, pick up the attitude of the sign and put it into the affairs of the house. Okay, so Mars is the first planet outside of the orbit of Earth. It's a little less than a 2-year cycle, but for general purposes, we'll say it's a 2-year cycle. And we experience it, we experience the different stages of it in 6-month periods, but really we can notice these 2 years periods for like at age 2, at age 4, at age 6, 8, 10. There's a whole cycle of experience. So Mars is how do you say it? It's how you put energy out. It's the first step you take. It's the way, after you're having all your feelings, you know what you want, you're thinking, you're feeling, what am I going to do? What do I do? It's how you do things. It represents how you use, you have energy, you have confidence, you have energy. Mars is, the sun is your confidence, but Mars is what you're doing. It's how you do it. It's the way you put this energy out, the way you use energy and force. So, aggressive qualities, anger, temperament. It's hard to know what exactly energy is. It's just a factor. But boy, a lack of energy and excess of energy is noticeable immediately. Kind of like electricity, you can see what it's doing. You can know how to channel it. But boy, it's hard to define exactly what it is. So this is the first planet that doesn't go inside the orbit of the Earth, that doesn't go within. It's things that happen literally outside of us and how we use energy, how strong we are, how powerful we are, how forceful, how assertive. So yes, when you're born, you have you start with a certain attitude to Mars. Okay, I'm just going to move get our graphics going here. Okay, and okay, so here you see the planet Mars. These are more, we get much better. We have such good pictures of the planets now, thanks to the space travel and everything. We're really seeing things in a different way than, much more intimately and closely than 50 years ago even. But Mars, it's like, you can be born strong or weak. You know, like you have your kid born, and some kids are a little pale and they're weaker. Some kids are just really aggressive and strong to begin with. And it's hard to know that some kids are born colicky or angry, or, you know, like But this issue of strength and weakness, of muscle, yeah, Mars is your muscle tone, how you use your muscles. There's a lot of muscles in your body. In fact, what's the strongest muscle in your body? When you think of it, the strongest muscle in your body is your jaw muscle. And when it's messed up, it affects your hearing, it affects your eating, affects your balance. So it's not just our arm muscles, it's all the muscles in our body. Even our heart is a muscle to a certain degree, but the heart is linked more to the sun. It represents your love and your heart and your centering, but it's tied, it is still also a muscle, so it has some Martian qualities. But so adrenaline, putting it, so there's so many, Mars is one of the most difficult planets to, in one way it's the simplest planet to deal with, in another way it's one of the more difficult planets to deal with, because it can take so many shapes and relate to so many different things. I guess if we go back to our basic scale of when we're born, in the first month we go through 30 days and we have a moon cycle. So then we begin to remember things happen in the next 30 days, and the next 30 days. So by the time we go through 3 moon cycles, we experience 1 Mercury cycle, and we begin to make sense out of what's the phases of the moon and the memories. And from our memories, we make sense of our memories, and we begin to anticipate what might happen. And this is our Mercury function. Then as it goes along, by about 10 months, you've had 3 Mercury cycles, 9 moon cycles, 9, 10 moon cycles. By about 1 Venus cycle, you begin to start saying, I like this, I like this food, I don't like this food, I want to do this, I like things. The baby begins to feel what they like and what they want and what they don't want, or if they're liked or if they're not liked. This sense of what's pleasant or preferable comes in the matter of Venus. You begin to see if it's well coordinated or not. So you see if the mind's working okay by the coordination in the 4th month. You see, in the 10th month, you begin to see if the Venus and the values are coming in, to what degree, how good, how bad. It's hard to measure it, but it begins to come in a person's life then, and on 10-month intervals from that point on. The sun is our year, so we have our birthday, and we have so many years we've lived, and we measure this. So we're very confident. We have our sense of confidence for how old we are. But Mars is, what have you done with yourself? So here you are, you're the age you are now. What have you done with your love? What have you done with your life? What have you got to show for it? What things have you done? What are you good for? What can you do? How much energy you got? Are you so busy you got no time to do anything else? Or are you running around being so busy, or you're more weak and having struggles trying to do anything? So it's a wide spectrum of how we use energy. But at Mars,